Hotep Senu, Hena Senut, Iti, Ren-I, Shaka Ndugu Kemet. What's the deal, yo? What's good? What's popping? What's happening? Wagwan, Sak Pase, Kijonye, Nangadef, Mbote, Memwache, Akwaba, Karibu, Jambo, Hujambo, Habari Gani, Ahlan wa Sahlan, Shalom. I'm going to catch heat because of that. But they no longer claim that, Mossad and Zionist. Back then, they were very quick. They wouldn't wait 3 minutes before they label you that, but it has kind of faded off. So, what's good? How far? Wagwan. I'm so glad. Yesterday, I had a class with a new learner. The new learners are loving it, and it's beautiful. If someone wants to take the class, we can make it happen right now. Just in case you don't know, I've been giving Medu Neter classes, or Medu Neter, if you don't know, if you're not aware, that's the hieroglyphic. And those are private one-on-one lessons. It's $10 if you're in America. If you're in Europe, that would be €10. If you're in England, that would be £10. And that's for 1 hour private class. Now, if some of you want to do it with your friend, your brother, cousin, it's on you. Only require that the payment be made upfront, so there's no trouble afterwards, and I don't have to chase people for the rightful compensation. Now, you have the PayPal address and the Cash App in the description of the video. So $ Ma'at forever when it comes to the Cash App, and for the PayPal, it's just there. PayPal.me/Ma'at forever. Feel free to hit that like button. There's only one like. Thanks to whoever hit that like button. I think I will look for some artifact to go through so that the new learners can practice a little bit when they watch this video, or if they, yes. So feel free, if you have any comments or statements to make, you can use the chat. And for the people who are not afraid to show their face, then you can call in directly. I've shared the invite link. You will find the link at the top of the chat. But for the record, is it that one? Yes. Okay, I'm back. Now, just waiting for my face to appear again. Okay, I'm back. All right. So I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. I'm so glad to have new learners. So glad. And really, I don't want anybody to feel bad. But the people who get on board and learn the Medu Neter, they are usually people who are not participating much during the live streams. For the last 2 years or more that I have been live streaming, there are people who have not, they have been watching and following, but not really participating. As many of the people who've been participating said, oh, I will get on board, I will learn, I will, take the classes, but they haven't. But it's all good. People don't have to. I just think it's a shame when people claim they will do something and they don't. But it is what it is. Now, of course, I'm saying that if somebody is ready to take a class now, I have a bit of time. I finished a bit early for the time being. But if someone is free, for example, at 4 p.m. EST, then we can make this happen. All right. We can always plan ahead, but I managed to get new learners more efficiently by telling, okay, we can do this right now. See, so don't get rid of a losing team or of a losing team. Don't get rid of a winning team. Now, let me see. Let me see what I could share. Now, do that. Always feel free if you have comments. Why is this? Okay, I'll do that and do that. Why is it not charging here? Okay, that's
Niveau
it.
de batterie faible.
All right. Never mind that. Feel free if you have comments or questions, take advantage. I will do a new one here. Remove this. Let's see what picture I can use. That I will close. Don't need it now. Okay, do that. Mm, let's look at Italy. I had a suggestion. Someone left a comment saying that it would be good to have playlists with the different museums. It's a good idea, but I want people to be able to see the Medu Neter testimonial playlist as well as the playlist with videos showing parts of my article regarding the color of Prophet Muhammad according to Islamic sources. If I add new playlists, then ultimately we will not see those three. Greetings to Asiatic Lion, but I don't have any comment about the leader of your organization for real. So I don't have any comment. He's doing real well, teaching that Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized, and that we are disfigured, that our physical appearance is the essence of ugliness. He's doing very good because he doesn't get any criticism for all that. Anybody else will be teaching that he will face criticism, you know. And he's the same one who said regarding Malcolm X, did you teach him? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out in front of the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut up and stay out of it. You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. And I think that's very bold, but people love anti-black and Negro and anti-African and Negrophobic teachings. They love that. We have plenty of Hebrews who like to disrespect Africans on a very regular basis. Not all Hebrew Israelites, but many do. And of course, when it comes to Christianity, we have the curse of Ham. So black people seem to be attracted towards people who either don't like them or disrespect them. You see, but others will be able to tell their children, well, I was not following the trend. I was not following fashion. You see, they will be able to tell their children, instead of teaching that Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized and we look ugly, that we are the essence of ugliness, they will teach, I've been learning the culture. I've been learning the language, you know. Instead of telling their children, well, I used to do cultural appropriation, claiming that the Arabs of the 7th century were black, and that the inhabitants of Canaan used to be black. Uh, and you see now, we can always talk, as the article Lion wrote, but Malcolm's daughter came live on Sanera and said the NY didn't kill her father. Are her words invalid? Is that the one that killed herself? Or, well, I don't know if she killed herself. Yeah, she did commit suicide. But Farrakhan himself is on tape saying that members of the Nation of Islam were involved in the murder or the assassination of Malcolm X. Farrakhan himself said it. So her daughter can say anything she wants. When Malcolm X was killed, her daughter was a child. Farrakhan was not a child. Farrakhan is the one who wrote in the Nation of Islam's official newspaper, Muhammad Speaks at the time, before it was called The Final Call. He wrote that Malcolm X was worthy of death. It was in Muhammad Speaks that we had the cartoon of Malcolm X beheaded and his head bouncing. And after Malcolm X was killed, it was Farrakhan who praised the killers, who labeled them as fearless men. Yes. So, everybody can say what they want. As a matter of fact, this is right after, shortly after the murder of Malcolm X.
Malcolm didn't know what he was playing with. No, he didn't. He didn't know what he was playing with. You don't jump up against a divine messenger of God like he did. He asked to die. And God obliged him. No, you don't understand. Like someone said, did you Muslims kill Malcolm? So the messenger said, and what if we did? He said, what if we did? Have you ever seen a leader scandalized like Malcolm scandalized Muhammad? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Don't you know if you scandalize a man who's loved and honored by the people, what are you asking for? You're asking for death. And he got what he asked for. And those who killed him, they weren't sneaking behind no damn counter. They came in the place where the man was preaching and killed him in front of his own followers. That's fearless men. And those who were there to guard him, they were ducking. Damn cowardly dogs. Ducking and running under poles instead of trying to protect the man. And you say it's your leader? You damn punk, you don't have no leader. If he's your leader, why the hell would you stand up for him? Now all of a sudden they can serve you a dead man on a platter. And you eat him up as your leader, not knowing nothing about him while he was alive and know less about him now that he's dead. Malcolm's momentum carried him to his death.
All right, so it says that it was Farrakhan speaking in 1972, and now we can see Farrakhan speaking like, I don't know if there's a date. I don't know if it's 92 or... But anyway, that's much later. That's much later.
Yeah, I love Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
And for the record, just so that people know, I'm not stating stuff that comes out of my imagination and put it forth as it was a fact. We will hear it from the horse's mouth. Farrakhan himself saying that members of the Nation of Islam, were involved in the assassination of Malcolm X.
Our zeal, our love and hatred, our ignorance was manipulated by powerful outside forces. And the result is that members of the Nation of Islam were involved in the assassination of Malcolm X. And the nation has taken the heat and carried the burden of the murder of Malcolm X. We cannot deny whatever our part was. That is true. But we must not let the real culprit get away hiding his hand and keep us fighting and killing one another.
So you've heard it from the horse's mouth. He said we cannot deny whatever part we play. And he clearly stated that members of the Nation of Islam were involved in the assassination of Malcolm X. So people can talk all they want. They can talk about Malcolm X's daughter, when she was a child. And of course, at the end, he says, the real culprit. So there, he says that members of the Nation of NOI were involved, but you have some real culprits. You know what I'm saying? Who are those real culprits? Why doesn't he mention who they are? Exactly. An Asiatic lion is asking the same question. If he knows about real culprits, why doesn't he name them? Is he protecting them, or is he just making it up? Come on, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. Now, just for those who don't know, this is a teaching of the Nation of Islam. Listen up.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Yes, sir. Go
All right. So you've heard it. You can tell your children that you are following and supporting that. It's on you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I want to go through a few artifacts just so that we can allow the new learners to practice with the Medu Neter. And once again, if anybody is willing to learn the Medu Neter, we can do this now, or you can just let me know when you'll be available. And I don't approve what was played. I don't approve what was said. I disagree with what was said. So bear with me. I've shared my email address now. Won't be long. Do you agree with what was said, brothers and sisters, that our phenotype is the essence of ugliness and we were disfigured and marked because we rebelled against God? Do you agree with that? We have one person that agrees with that. He's a member of their organization. And that's what you will tell your children. Many people will tell their children that they were great freedom fighters and warriors in the cause, in the black cause. And at the same time, they will have to explain while they were supporting what we just heard. We make excuse for rapists, for pedophiles, as long as they are Pan Africans, and even anti-black and anti-African teaching. Some people find a way to make excuse for it. Does anyone want to learn the Medu Neter? Is there anybody that wants to learn the hieroglyphic? Okay, I will choose. Hold on. Computer is freezing a little bit, but it's okay. I will close this one. Start over again. Close this. Well, it's early in America, really. Okay, come on now. Now, put this one here. Let me try again. That one. No, I want that one. That one now. Okay. Something funny happening. I don't understand why. Always when we want to show something. I can try. I can try paint. I will do that. Let's paint. There it is. Paint 3D. And now we'll open. Oh, 219-1 29 at the end. 29 at the end. That's the one. What's going on? Okay. All right. Picture was too big. They had to resize it. Great. And now, where is the drawing tool? Okay. Is it drawing now? Come on now. Okay. It's a bit slow, but we'll get there. So let me share. Uh, Greetings, Hotep, Robert, Ron. Let me share. Okay. Now people have different levels. Oh, people have different level with the classes. But whoever had at least one class will recognize this unilateral. Okay, it's too large here, and this one as well, which gives us the name of a famous Neter or a deity. Now you will recognize this glyph and the two phonetic complements. Now here's much larger. You should recognize this biliteral that some people use to make linguistic gymnastics or linguistic acrobatics. And keep the comments going and the questions going. Now, hold on. Now, right here, there's a part missing, and it will look something like this. This glyph by itself is the biliteral that people didn't really know that we have a honorific inversion with this glyph as well. So it's not pronounced as you already there, but it's pronounced Nesu or Nesut. Then here, you should know it very well. We have the duality. The two dots underneath the actual glyph does not change the phonetic value of the glyph. And also, those two things here don't change the phonetic value. Now, this glyph here is the triliteral that we have seen when I showed you examples. Now, this one depends how far you went with the lessons. Stands for head, and then we have the single stroke underneath. This glyph here is a biliteral. You can think of it as a ceiling. Now here we have a word which is not the name of the Neteret because we have this determinative here. And right there, this is the biliteral that starts with a W. And we have it in feminine form. Okay? Now, we have this glyph that we've seen, everybody has seen during the first class. And we have the seated man with the beard. It's probably the longest beard I have ever seen. Now, and for those who don't know, this is not how the classes go. This is not how it works with the classes. All right. This is just me going through some glyphs because we have a few new learners. So it's an opportunity for them to practice. When you do the classes, you have slides prepared in advance. Here I'm just going through some artifacts, and this is from the museum in Italy, the Museum of Bologna. See the way they made it? They made it so that this gentleman is actually holding what we have above. Now there, this appears very often. Ma'acheru. Okay? And this glyph is often associated with Neter. It's a biliteral. And this is a word that is similar to the word jet. Okay? And by the way, this is one of the uniliterals. Okay? Now, there's another one. Actually, I will rename them. It will be quicker for me. So this one was, what I will do is, okay. So next time I'll do that, it'll be quicker. Do you see that? Or rather, you don't see that. No comments, no questions? Dang. It's okay. The new learners will take advantage of this. Bear with me. Okay. Now, I don't know why. Oh, I could. Okay. Okay, I'll put it down a little bit and use a pencil. I don't know why, but it's just extremely slow. Whatever I do. Okay. Now this glyph, you know it very well. If you're a new learner, you will get to know that formula a bit later on. Now, the glyphs at the top are not too distinguishable because of the shadow that we have here. But here, by the way, this is one uniliteral, the one of the folded cloth. Here you recognize the loaf of bread. Here, this is the mouth, and here, this is the viper. Now, you know this glyph very well. I'm not sure if this is hem. We have su, and this is the mouth. For the cloth again, the owl. What's the phonetic value of the owl? Here you should recognize the water wave. You should recognize the duck. And this is the bolt or the lock. So you know if you have the duck and the lock, we are dealing with a suffix pronoun, right? And you remember here the plow, the biliteral, and then we have the two relief. So you should know that word. Hold on. No, I need to do that. Hold on. Why is he doing that? On the stuff to move to the side. Now, it take ages for the pencil, I guess. No, it's okay. This is vulture. It's very small, but this is a vulture. Then we have the viper. So we are dealing with another suffix pronoun. All right. Now the vulture, that's a triliteral, by the way. And we've seen it early on. Now, what else could be of interest to us? Well, this is going to be more for the people who had a few classes. Now here, this is a biliteral. So this is dealing with a verb. Then we have the preposition and we have the viper again, which stands for a suffix pronoun. And this, I suspect, is the abbreviation of the word that has an unusual spelling. And it's a word that you hear me say in the plural tense very often. Relief, biliteral. This is a word that we see very often. Blessed, favored, and so on. We're going to have a look around here. Actually, let me look on the right there. Okay. It's smaller here. No, it's too small. So I will which one is that? I don't have the name. Uh I will open another one. Now, Yes. Now, the next one will be much clearer. The glyphs will be much clearer, easier to distinguish. But it's good to practice where the shape are a bit different. So you get more familiar. Oh, well, that's not the one. Okay, you know what? I will do this. And keep the comments and questions going. If anybody wants to take a class, then feel free. And once again, for those who just arrived, that's not how the class go. This is just practice for the new learners. It's just loading right now, and I'll put it on the screen. I would have preferred another way, but it's okay. So now I use the pencil, and I'm sharing again. You can see the artifact is damaged, but hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. But the glyphs look very nice. They are very clear. Okay. Uh, okay, I will deal with this anyway. Now, we have the cobra, the loaf of bread, and this glyph, which doesn't stand for land here. That's the spelling. All those three spell the same word. Then this is a bit unusual that we have the triliteral that you should be familiar with, and we have the biliteral that's often associated with the triliteral. And in between, we have the determinative of the sitting man with the beard. And you know what it is. I told you what it stands for. Usually, you just see that glyph and that glyph. Like this one, you will have it not horizontally, but vertically. You know. Now, this is a uniliteral that you should know well. It's the second one on the list. You should know this triliteral that we have with one phonetic complement. Now, you should recognize that one. This is a uniliteral. This is a uniliteral. And with the loaf of bread, it makes one word. Here it's a bit damaged. But we have this glyph here that has two phonetic values. I told you, letter I, letter N, and also letter N, letter W when it comes to the transliteration. So knowing this, all this is together. This one is a word that we have seen and that we will see many, many times, but it is used here as a determinative or ideogram. What we have here is actually the loaf of bread, so that gives us the name of a neteret. I will leave it there. That's just some examples. If you have a museum nearby, it will be good for you to go because you will recognize some words that we have seen. And some of you, depending on how far you went with the classes, you'll be able to read sentences. If you have just taken one class, we've seen some short sentence at the end, but after a few classes, you will be able to read some sentences. And you will feel good, you will be proud of yourself. So don't hesitate. Now, brothers and sisters, feel free. If there's no participation, I will put an end to this live stream. Anybody has questions about the Medu Neter? Because honestly, I don't want to talk about black people. I'm sorry, black people are cursed and Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized, the so-called supreme wisdom. I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with factual stuff. Stuff for which we have a cultural legacy. Is there anyone that wants to learn the Medu Neter? Nobody wants to learn the Medu Neter. What do you want to learn then? Which language do you want to learn? Because well, some people were like, are we West Africans? Are they learning a West African language? Oh, brother Anthony Harris, who had Zion Lex shook, our brother destroyed Zion Lex in their debate. I've shared the link. Now, for those who don't know, you can go on my channel and you have the area where it says community, and there you can see the links that I've shared for my subscribers, and then you will see the link to their debate. Now, he asked, what will be great starting point for Mesh Neter? I guess he meant to write Medu Neter. Um, I will show you. Share screen. Now, this is where you have the full hieroglyphic sign list. You have the link uh, in the description of the video. This is the quote unquote Medu Neter alphabet, phonetic alphabet. Those glyphs are uniliterals. They stand for single sounds. And the people who take classes will vouch that I start with this so they can hear the sounds. And I always encourage them to learn those glyphs by heart because just by knowing those glyphs, anybody can read some words, some given names, and some names of Necheru or gods, deities. So it's very useful to know those glyphs. After that, of course, we have biliterals. Glyphs are stand for two sounds, and triliterals. Glyphs are stand for three sounds. But this is a very good way to start. A very good way. But the important thing is to hear some of those sounds because in some parts I've put KH, but that's not exactly, well, first of all, it's difficult to pronounce KH, but we have sounds that don't exist in the English language or the French language. So that would be a great way to start. But learning by yourself is difficult. So whoever is willing to learn the Medu Neter, I have a method that's efficient and people are satisfied and happy. So feel free to give it a try. And besides, it's very affordable as well. Anybody can compare the different prices that other people charge, the different fee that other people charge. For people in the US, I charge $10 when others charge up to $50. Even in Europe, someone was charging 50 euros. So, whenever you are ready, brothers and sisters, we can get to learn it. And if someone is ready at 4 p.m. EST today, we can make this happen. I have a class before that, and I can double up and do another class. Hey, brother Chris. Now, brother Chris is getting the pass. Oh, he disappeared. Feel free to come back. Something must have happened. Brother Chris gets a pass. Proud of him. He handled Zion Lex. He had Zion Lex with a damn near breakdown. Now, hey, what how you doing, brother?
What's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm chilling, brother. You have lately. I've had people, joining, for the classes, and it makes me happy.
hmm Yeah, I'm willing to join. I'll join because I think the next evolution of me in addressing some of these things, such as the Meneptah stele,
Yeah,
would be is to learn it. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
definitely don't want to go in disarmed, albeit I know Flanders Petrie got that wrong. I still want to be able to engage a lot of people in that argument, and some people hide behind Medu Neter. People like Zion, let's hide behind that. So I'm going to learn the phonetic alphabet or the alphabet, the Medu Neter alphabet. I'm probably going to be trying to teach myself it the next 2 weeks. Hell, I might even pay you.
Well,
You
whenever
know what
you're
I'm
ready,
saying? In
you know,
order
whenever
to
you're ready.
understand it.
And for
Yeah.
the
So
brothers and
I'm definitely going to
sisters,
be doing
yeah, for the brothers and sisters who don't know, our brother mentioned the Meron Stela. That's a stela where they claim the name of
Israel
Israel
is
is
mentioned.
mentioned, and that will make
It's
it the
not.
earliest ever mention of Israel. But it doesn't talk about Israel because it doesn't spell Israel.
It doesn't spell it at
Uh,
all.
it spells more like ECDR. Now in the Medu Neter, really, there's no L sound. That will come later, probably with the Greeks and so on. But besides that, the sound is,
Yep.
yeah. And we have
Yeah.
some determinative of people. So
Right.
it's talking about people, not a location, not a place. We actually have a
Right.
glyph that denotes a place. So they found something that kind of sounds more or less kind of close to Israel, and they're like, okay, there we go, because they're trying to give themselves some legitimacy. And
Right.
and it's the same with Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew, we don't have mention of that in history. The closest we will have maybe will be Ivri, but I wonder how far that goes back. As for Jews, um, we will have in the Arabic Yahudi. You see, so probably in the Hebrew it will be close. But anything close to Hebrew, no, we don't have that. And some brothers, I ain't gonna say no name. At some point, we're talking about, oh, we had Hebrews in Kemet, Hapiru, but no.
Yeah.
Mm.
No. Let me clear that up real quick with the Hyperu. I heard Zion Lex mentioning that, and first of all, you have to first demonstrate a language cognate. You just can't say this means Hebrew and the other Habiru means the same thing, because historically Habiru meant dusty and dirty. All right, or it also denoted wanderers who were wandering around. They didn't have anything. This is not the biblical narrative, okay? So what they're trying to do is find themselves inside of African history because essentially they didn't have one of their own. This group of people didn't have any literature. They didn't have any infrastructure, and definitely without any infrastructure, you don't have anywhere to place your literature or your writings, so you don't have anywhere to store it. This is what we mean by when we say you guys don't have any proof to make these claims. Everything that you do is based on fringe assumptions. Um, they try to make these arguments about DNA. And I always tell people I don't care about DNA. I'm looking for archaeological evidence that proves this mighty civilization. existed. I don't think I need to talk about to anybody about DNA because people and black people have been mixing with other indigenous groups for thousands of years. That doesn't prove anything. Once again, those are people trying to include themselves in on our history or histories. So it's really a null argument. Um, doesn't make any sense. So I think we should just move on from that and try to grow up and become more scholastic. You know, one of the things I spoke about on my platform yesterday was gentlemen who tend to want to debate things that make absolutely no sense, um, or people who just want to argue with you based on their belief or assumptions. And those are things that I'm just getting away from. Pastor Bennett called and stated, "Hey, I want to debate you. Is Christianity the white man's religion?" I found it hilarious. It's like, well, he told me that you told vocab alone.
Oh, we don't hear you right now, brother.
Do you hear me,
Um.
brother? Okay,
Oh,
there you
now I
go.
hear you. Now I hear
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Yes.
I was walking out of my house into the out here into my garage. Sorry. So
No problem.
this is what he said, and I want everybody to hear this because this is the way they defend this history of theirs or this pseudo history of theirs. And he said, "I'll debate you on is Christianity the white man's religion? Because against vocab Malone, you said that, listen to this, Jesus was white. If you don't debate me on that, you have to apologize for saying Jesus is white." I listened to his statement and I said, I listened, you know me, I stay quiet. And I stated, okay, can I talk now? I said, first of all, Jesus is white. The earliest pictures of him depict him as a white man. All right. Two, I don't have to apologize for saying he's white because you don't have any evidence to show that he was black first. All right. Third, I don't think Jesus ever existed. Excuse me. I know Jesus never existed black or white. So it doesn't matter to me and I don't care. Now, pertaining it to it being the white man's religion, I said, are you stating that it's a black man's religion or black indigenous people's religion or African religion? I had to say all these things concerning black because he wanted to make the argument very broad. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to this and hold up, by the way. He was just all like, see, you're afraid to debate me. His Christianity left all of a sudden. It just jumped out the window. He was no longer a Christian right there, Brother Shaka.
Hmm.
So I said, one more time, when you're dealing with Christianity, you're dealing with Coptic, you are dealing with Roman, you are dealing with Greek, you're dealing with Constantinople, you're dealing with many different branches, mainly the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Roman Orthodox Church. I said, what orthodoxy are you speaking on? And that was too difficult of a question for him to answer. And I said, if you want to argue that, I need to know what branch. Listen to what he stated. He said, quote, I'm so confident you can name any branch of Christianity and I'll show you that it wasn't a white religion. And I said, okay, let's go with Roman Christianity. See, they scared, they scared. I'm like, I'm dealing with the Roman Orthodox Church. You would have to prove that Africans, the origin of Christianity is in fact African. See,
That's why he doesn't want to include the word African. You understand what I'm saying, Brother Shaka? And this
Hmm.
is the shame that we have, and that these religions and these studies have placed on us when you study with a bias. I don't study just going against the biblical narrative. I study world history, I study anthropology, and I study comparative mythology. People don't know how to study. There's a difference between the three. But what most gentlemen or our brothers and sisters don't understand how to do is study mythology. You understand what I'm saying, brothers? Like, they don't understand the study of etiology, theology. They don't understand how these concepts, where they came from. So when you say Jesus doesn't exist, the first thing they do is get emotional, like Pastor Bennett was. And I said, well, I don't know why I'm afraid. I've defeated you before. And the debate was Jesus unique? And how is Jesus born without a daddy? You know, I mean, come on. Those are mythological elements made to give a story, made to give a story some type of significance. And these are very common in antiquity, where sun gods are born, or god kings are born. You understand these things. We see him in Kemet, Tamari, Waset. We see him in Ethiopia. So I started thinking, and I hope the audience is listening. I started thinking, and I said, what would be his angle in trying to argue with me? Because I already know the topic. My thing is, I've always looked at a debate and said, how can I attack this? How will I attack this? But in order to attack it, you have to understand the arguments against your position. And you know what I thought of? I said, let me look over some old notes and just do some brushing up on some research here. I pointed my finger right there. The Coptic Church. I said, he's going to try to attack it from here. So my argument would be against the Coptic Church and who brought Christianity into Egypt, and understanding the teachings of Tertullian and those church fathers there, and educating the audience on how they began to teach it. And if he shows that, I would show that it actually goes against you in your Baptist teachings, because Tertullian and them did not believe Jesus was a certain way. They did not believe him to be a certain way. Now, this is why you have to study the history. Now, people will present to you a what I call an argument from ignorance. And within that, they'll try to make it look like they're right and they have no real understanding. So, um, I'll answer the question for everybody. Is Christianity a white man's religion?
Yes.
Yes. Is it a black man's religion? Watch this.
No.
Yes, because no, not at its origin, it's not. But
Hmm.
is it a black man's religion? Yes, because black people study it. They believe it today. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, but at its origin, watch this. What book are you reading from? King James Authorized Version? Here's the history of the King James Authorized Version. So are you studying the African text, or are you studying the King James authorized text? Easy. From the King James, it went to the Septuagint. I'm sorry, came from the Latin Vulgate. From the Latin Vulgate was the Septuagint. Show me the original African text. There is not one. It doesn't exist. There are no early images of a black Jesus. All right. What they try to do is say, well, if the people in that area were probably black, that means that Jesus was black. Okay. That's what you call that's a sweeping statement to make, because you can't prove Jesus existed. And if these people were Semites, that means they were mixed. That means they had everybody mixed with them. He could have been black. He could have been white. He could have been, hold on, all colors, as the Christian church says. But coming all the way back to your topic, this is why it's important to study anthropological studies such as language, because through language, you begin to understand the practices of the people and how they thought. All right.
Yes.
Not reading a King James version of a group of people that, and you're not going to learn how they thought. And I will give Zion credit on that. But once again, you don't get a language until what, 600 BC? Prior to that, it was a Canaanite script.
Mhm.
So we begin to see how they thought, because through writings you have symbols, right? And symbols describe what people saw and how they interpreted it. Like the Aleph. Let me say this real quick. The Aleph. The Aleph was a ram's head or a bull's
Oxus head.
head,
Yes.
ox's head, and it represented strength. It was always the lead animal. Now, the Aleph is present today in our alphabet in the A. It's just an upside down Aleph. You understand
Indeed.
what I'm saying? So,
Indeed.
and it's the lead vowel. All right, so this is how you see a lot of archaic cultures exist today, and it's because of writing. And you can go right there into Egypt and see these same symbols in a more ancient form being used, and there's no way around it. All right, they taught the world. Africans taught the world everything they knew. All right, because they weren't afraid to share it. We were a modern civilization in North, East, West Africa. We got to get away from this Eurocentric version of thinking. And one of the ways that they sit up there and erase your memory, your genetic memory, is through religion, by binding you to something and telling you to believe it. Belief is a very strong thing, because once you believe it, you begin to study it, and it goes into your subconscious, and you accept it as being accurate, and it will make you disregard all things that are tangible, and you begin to believe the intangible. You begin to accept the abstract and reject concrete evidence against your belief. And this is how cognitive barriers are found. Formed. This is how arguments start, and hence the term we get conscious debates, because most guys are unconscious because of religion. All right. I hope I said enough here. I'll be taking your classes because it is excellent. I think it's a great idea that I start learning it for myself. Brother Shaka, you can take it away. I'm going to sit on the panel for a little while
Yeah.
with my drive to work.
Feel
Sorry for
free.
talking so
Feel
much.
free. No, no, no problem at all. There's not many like-minded people who are vocal. Like we have plenty of people. They come in the chat, they take the classes, but there's not many. Who go out there. We know them. They will see their face, and they tell people, okay, you know, besides this Abrahamic belief system, we have stuff of our own. And it's very important. And I value that. Because I don't want to say no names, but there's some people, who talk about Kemet, you will consider them Kemetic, but you probably seen Garfield showing who was giving him ammunition to go against Jim Barry. I don't know if you've seen that. And that's foul. That's
Yeah,
foul. That's fence riding. That's being like a double agent, and it's not
yeah,
the first time.
right.
So we have some people who claim to be down with some African way of life, but 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 um
Well, I want to
what
say
yeah,
this.
go ahead, go ahead.
I want to highlight something here, and I want to I want to show everybody what these statements that gentlemen make sometimes, and I think they're just being made to try to start an argument. And a lot of arguments that I hear, I'm starting to see it's feigned knowledge. Now, what I mean by that is I see people coming on here with regurgitated arguments that they saw on YouTube. And I was watching Jesse Lee Peterson the other day, right?
Hmm.
I like listening to him because I think he's hilarious. I disagree with everything he said, okay? But Shaka Amos was on there. And Shaka, it was a great build. Shaka Amos. I love watching his platform. All right. I think he's very arrogant, but that's okay. Most teachers are. Most people who are researchers are. But you know, he gave Jesse Lee Peterson some information, and Jesse Lee Peterson said, "Wow, Where'd you get all this
Interesting.
information? Yeah, interesting, interesting. And he says, this is fascinating. He said, black people don't read no books. They look at TV, they read social media, and then they go back and regurgitate the information. How are people going to be able to discern all this information that you have? You know, black people don't read. That's one of our problems. We're followers. And I was like, wow, he actually said something with that. And I want to show you guys something. We have our beloved brother Afro Asiatic in the chat, and he states there are plenty of black images of Christ inside of Ethiopia.
Chronology.
All right, thank you. Now, this is where the arguments start that don't need to be started. I never said that black images of Christ did not exist. I stated the oldest images of this man named Jesus that existed are in fact they are white. All right. You have images of black Christ, yes, but they come a lot later. And these are the sweeping statements that are made in order to somewhat get you riled up, get you arguing. And I've found through my debates and trying to evolve that there's nothing to address. Show me the oldest picture of Christ or this man named Jesus, and we can have a discussion. If you believe what you're saying, please show your scholarship first. Don't make a sweeping statement such as that and then show up into a debate talking about something, Brother Shaka, totally different. You understand what I'm saying?
But brother Chris, um, when it comes to Jesus, we cannot really expect depictions, because even mentions of him comes decades after his lifetime, and that's the
Yes.
reason why his historicity is debated. Now, Christians, of course, I don't expect Christians to say, well, actually, we have so much lack of evidence for his historicity, so he most likely didn't exist. That's the core of their faith. You know, Jesus Christ is the core of the Christian faith, you see. And I could talk about Islam, but
Well, here, let me talk about Islam.
mhm.
Islam is nothing but Christianity for Arabs.
Well, you
Yeah.
you and this is what the evidence seems to show, you know,
Yeah.
because there's lately been several works released, and scholars have touched on that, and the funny thing is that even that guy Robert Spencer, in his book Did Muhammad Exist, he goes on to talk about the coins, Muslim coins, with the early caliphs, uh, and you have a cross, you know.
Mm, mm,
Now,
mm.
some people highlight the fact that Muhammad is mentioned only 4 times in the Quran. We find out about Muhammad from the Hadith, which come like 200 years after his lifetime. You see?
Yes. Doesn't it seem the same way with Jesus? Some of these
Yes,
writings are 75 years, 110 years,
mm,
235 years. Oh,
indeed.
all of a sudden, this mystical man was walking around. All
Hmm.
of a sudden, this magical, mystical man named Muhammad was walking around.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, both, the one thing I find in common with all these sun deities in these Abrahamic faiths, none of them ever wrote anything for themselves. They left behind nothing. It's always, this is what he said. Or as Zion Lex would say, it's oral
Oral tradition.
tradition.
That's so convenient. That's so
It's
convenient.
very
But
convenient, huh?
when it comes to the languages, I have started. with two very important languages when it comes to the Abrahamic belief system. Arabic I studied a while back, so people could guess what the other two language could be, And um, just for the record, what I will do, I'll do that. Okay. We share. I started with Greek and with Hebrew. Now, if I have to share this, now here's why I touched on that. Here's why I said that Medu Neter is way more easier than Hebrew, way more straightforward. With the Hebrew, where's the pen? Oh yes, yeah. You have the bet vet, which will look something like this, and when you have the dot, that will be the bet. Without the dot, that will be the vet. Now, as for the vowels, if you have this, that's the sound ah. Now, underneath the symbol, if you
Hold,
have two,
mhm. Hold on, we
that will
can't
be
see
this.
anything. We can't
Oh,
see
really?
anything. Yeah, I can't see anything. Yeah.
Uh, oh yeah, that's my fault.
Uh-huh.
It's my fault. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, you're talking.
There
I'm
it
like, hey,
is.
wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait. Can't see nothing. Yeah.
there it is. You see?
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Now, if you have two dots there, that's the sound eh. If you have one dot, that's the sound e. If you have three dots like this, that's the sound oo. If you have one dot there, that's the sound o. And then sometimes you have some other letter that you can have something like this, and it will give you a different sign. And there's exceptions. I mean, it's something, I don't want to say messy, it's a system, and any
Yeah.
language can be learned.
Yes.
But the Medu Neter is way more straightforward, way more.
Yeah.
And it is very important indeed because the language is the heart of a culture. So I'm about to get real serious with this, and because it makes more sense. It's way more easier to understand the history of the people when we know their language.
Mhm.
And with Islam, the majority of Muslims, it seems, don't even know the Arabic.
Wow.
And scholars do their thing. Scholars, they are doing their thing. And they have realized how much Aramaic is important. They have plenty of words in Islam that are not Arabic words. But I'm not going to trip on that. The works
Yeah.
are done. And with Islam is particular because when they're not happy, sometimes your life is threatened. That happened to many people. The guy who wrote the book, he did that anonymously because he knew his life could be threatened. Now I forgot the name of the book, but it's the one of the early one who highlighted the fact that we have so many words that actually not Arabic words, but they're derived from Aramaic and other languages. So when people talk about the 72 virgins, it's not actually virgins, but it's like some fruit. Forgot which one it is. You see?
Well, the funny thing about that is, when I see that 72, 72 is a mythical Greek number. All right, and that's what most people don't understand. 72 is actually a Greek mythical number. You see 70, you see that a lot in Greek literature. um I don't know what that means today. Like when we're talking about Arab and we're talking about um us as African people, what does that mean? What does Arabic and Arab and Aramaic, what does that mean to us today? How does that apply to us today? Those are writing systems that don't belong to us culturally.
Hmm.
These are writing systems that came into Africa, came into Africa, or these were people that didn't have any writing when they came in there, left with some type of writing system, and now it's being used against us, and we want to just disregard all of our knowledge and accept something a lot newer. I need for people to explain to me, how does this work here? You know, and I'm not, I know I'm pulling you off talking, but I get so confused when I see things like Muhammad is the greatest man to ever exist, and like, how can you be so sure of something like that?
I mean, our brother Asiatic Lion, I think there's a reason why he's here so often, but not on his fellow NOR platform. You know,
Mm, okay.
they probably don't want to hear what he's talking about, so that's why he's in here all the time. Or maybe he wants to deter us from speaking facts because he keeps talking about DNA, and I keep asking him, can you name a PhD that says that the Arabs were black? In the 7th century, and same for the Canaanites. And he has yet to do that. But he wants to break down the genetics. Now many brothers and sisters, they are geneticists. They they read some articles about genetics, about DNA, and now they can break down the population's ethnicities, and that's quite impressive to me. But I'd rather hear what the specialists have to say.
Exactly.
There's only one PhD that I've heard saying that the Arabs of the 7th century were black, and that's Wesley Muhammad, who is a member of the Nation of Islam. You
Thank
see,
you.
and
Thank
that's
you.
about it. And as a matter of fact, the funny thing is that even Farrakhan himself said that Prophet Muhammad was white, and I have him on tape. I have shared that
Yeah, I
already.
remember.
You
I
know,
remember you
so
played
so
that.
so so so
Replayed that video.
so the leader of the organization, what I'm saying, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
Right. That's a good point you
mm,
make there.
mm,
Excellent point. And
and
um,
besides Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad said that Prophet Muhammad was white as well. And then Wesley Muhammad was like, you don't know what he meant. I don't know what he meant. Come on.
yes, we do know what he meant. That
Oh
he
yeah, we know what
said,
he meant.
look, he
Mm,
said what
mm.
he meant. He
You know,
said what he meant,
yeah, he
and
said it. But
he said it.
brother, do you know if you will have time at 4 p.m. EST for the Medu Neter?
Yeah, I'll probably be able to have time.
Yeah. Because I have some slots available. And so if you have time, all you need to do is just send the $10 via PayPal or Cash App, and
Okay.
and then we can book it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know early in advance, because in the meantime I have other people I'm in communication with. So this time slot is available now. So
Okay.
you know
All
the,
right.
the earliest, let me know the earliest I can book it.
Where are we starting?
Yeah.
What's the starting point here? Are we starting with the phonetic alphabet or
Oh well, with the class, all you have to do is just show up, and then we'll deal with it. You will learn the first class. Basically, we'll go through um, the uniliterals, those glyphs that I showed that stands for one phonetic value. You will have examples of biliterals, glyphs that stands for two sounds, triliterals, glyphs that stands for three sounds. I will show you the masculine and the feminine. I will show you the singular and the plural, and then we will deal with a verb, and with the same root, we'll see different words, and at the end, we will read a short sentence.
okay? Okay.
So that's how the first class go, and
All
then
right.
for the other classes, then we take
What's
it
your cash
further.
app?
And
What's your cash app?
Cash App is $ Ma'at forever.
Okay. That's the same as mine.
Yeah.
$ C here 79.
Mm,
Okay. Yeah, let me get ready for that. I'm in the store, and then from here I'm at the
yeah.
store at our
Yeah.
company here.
So
After that
should
I'm going
should
to work.
should should, should should I put that on my diary for 4 p.m. EST? You have your
So I
time is
live in
EST, is it?
I live in Tampa.
Oh, Florida.
Hmm.
Okay. And so you will be free at 4 p.m. EST?
4:30. I get off at
4:30.
4:30.
Oh,
Yeah.
4:30 is fine. But will you be ready at 4:30?
No, I probably won't be ready till
Oh,
5:30.
five.
But by the time I get home, it'll be about 5 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you can make it 5, that's good for me, because 5 EST is actually
Hmm.
11 p.m. my time. You know?
Okay. Okay. 11 p.m.
Yeah, because I'm
Damn.
in France. I'm in France.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's why you be up so early. Okay.
Yeah.
So what time is it there now?
Right now it's 1 p.m. 20 past 1. Yeah,
Woo! Okay, when you
yeah.
get you here, I'll send it to you. I guess
Mm.
we can get ready then.
So I put it in my diary um for 5 p.m. EST, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I put
Your diary is on the internet. What you writing for?
huh.
Oh, that's
uh
funny.
you scared me. I was like, how is my phone showing online? Um, so put that there, and then oh, alarm. Okay, and you've sent some email to me. Um,
C Harris 313
yeah,
at
I know, I
gmail.com.
know. So um, what I will do actually, I'm gonna end this live stream anyway. So I will send the link for the class.
Okay.
I
You want
will
me to
send
pay
it
it
to
when you
you.
want me to pay it when the class starts? You want me to pay it when the class
Uh,
starts?
well, really, I like people to pay upfront. So whenever you have time,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then yes, I'm gonna end this live stream. Then I'm gonna send the link
Okay.
to you, and then I will see you at 5 p.m. But
Oh,
that's definitely
okay.
EST, right? 5 p.m. EST, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
So I'm happy, and I will see you later on today. All right.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Yep.
So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to put an end to this live stream. And for those of you who want to learn the Medu Neter, I've shared
Peace.
my email address already, and so you can contact me, and we can schedule. And sometimes when I finish early, I will go online and tell the people, okay, if some people want to do it now, then we can do it now. You see. Well, I will put the outro. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Neter classes, and here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more. I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Medu Neter class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Medu Neter lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Medu Neter, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Medu Neter, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neter classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know like our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge. No question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neter class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.